The rain fell in sheets over the abandoned town of Greybrook, a place frozen in time, its broken streets and crumbling facades whispering tales lost to the wind. The air was thick with the scent of damp earth and iron, hinting at secrets buried beneath layers of neglect and shadow. Detective Lena Parker stepped from her battered sedan, clutching her coat tighter as the storm tousled her dark hair. Out here, mileage from the city, with only the flickering glow of her flashlight piercing the gloom, she felt the weight of silence pressing against her skull. The call had come at dawn, a body found in the old mill, not far from the crumbling edge of town. She moved past a rusted chain-link fence, its once pristine paint flaked and peeling. Inside, the mill's skeletal frame loomed like a creature waiting in the dark. She scanned the wreckage, her flashlight catching a flash of white amid the debris. There it was, a man sprawled on the damp wooden floor, eyes wide open in shock. A single bullet wound in his temple, blood pooling like a crimson puddle. His face was streaked with dirt, a thin trail of blood across his cheek. Beside him, a shattered pocket watch, its glass cracked, stopped at 2:17. Lena crouched beside the body, her eyes narrowing. She sensed something strange, a story behind the instant coffee stain on the man's sleeve, the way his hand relaxed in a peculiar manner. Her fingertips brushed the man's jacket, feeling the coarse fabric, and she froze when her hand brushed against a folded piece of paper. Unfolding it carefully, she read, "The truth is in the silence." Asterisk. A fragment of paper, an obscure message. Just another piece of the puzzle in a town where secrets had long lurked beneath layers of dust. As she stood up, a faint noise echoed outside, a soft scrape like gravel shifting under weight. Lena's instincts prickled. She moved toward a broken window, peering out into the rain-drenched night. Shadows moved subtly. Someone was watching. She crept to the front entrance, the old wooden door groaning as she eased it open. The rain's relentless, pouring massed footsteps. She could hear only the faint sound of someone retreating into the darkness. Seconds later, a figure darted from the shadows. A man, broad-shouldered, wearing a soaked trench coat and a fedora pulled low. He paused briefly, glancing back over his shoulder before disappearing into an alleyway. Lena hesitated, then gave chase, her boots splashing through puddles. She followed into the alley, a narrow space lined with discarded crates and old oil drums. The runner was quick, darting behind a stack of boxes. "Hey, stop right there!" Lena called, her voice echoing off the wet brick walls. No response, just the sound of wind and rain. She reached out, grabbing his arm. He spun around, face illuminated briefly by a flickering street lamp, lined with sharp features and bristling with nervous energy. "Who are you? Why were you at the mill?" Lena demanded, voice steady but low. His eyes flickered with a mix of fear and defiance. He hesitated, then sighed, revealing a scar crossing his cheek. "Name's Eli," he said, voice rough. "I didn't want to hurt nobody. I was looking for her." "Her?" Lena pressed. Eli nodded, glancing away. "Lila, the girl who went missing. You find her, I'll tell you everything." The name tugged at Lena's memory. Lila, no last name given, but a ghost from the town's recent past, vanished without trace 2 weeks prior. "Where did you see her last?" Lena asked. "Near the old bridge, just 3 nights ago," Eli whispered, voice trembling. "She was scared, said they were after her." Lena's mind spun. The coordinates, an unsolved disappearance, a mysterious watcher, a cryptic message. Things clicked into place, but she needed more. "Tell me everything you know, Eli, whatever it is." He looked around nervously, then leaned in. "There's something else. The night she disappeared, I found this." Eli pulled from his coat pocket a small, rusted locket. Opened it briefly, revealing a faded photograph of a young woman with striking eyes. "Her name's Lila. She's not just some kid running away. She's got secrets, things she overheard, the council, the town's old money. They're hiding something, and I think it's why she vanished." Lena took the locket carefully. Her mind ran through her files. Nothing about the girl, but the name Lila stirred a faint memory of an old scandal involving the town's founding families. Suddenly, a sharp crack echoed in the alley. Shots, 2, maybe 3. Lena dove behind a nearby dumpster, heart pounding. Eli hit the ground, clutching his arm. "Go! Get out of here!" he shouted, shielding his face. Lena pulled her weapon, peering over the edge. From the shadows, a figure emerged, dressed in dark clothes, face obscured, holding a pistol. "End of the line!" the figure hissed. Lena fired a warning shot, the bullet ricocheting off a metal barrel. The figure hesitated, then fled into the night. She sprinted after him, her boots pounding the wet pavement, but the figure disappeared into a maze of alleyways. She returned to Eli, whose face was grim. "Who was that?" she demanded. "No idea," Eli said hoarsely, "but I know they don't want her talking." Lena looked back at the mill and then at the distant horizon, where storm clouds still loomed. She had enough to go on, but the bigger picture was still murky. She decided to head back to town, knowing that beneath Greybrook's quiet facade lay a web of secrets, lies, and betrayal. If she could weasel her way through the layers of silence, perhaps the truth about Lila and the town's dark past would finally surface. Later that night, Lena sat at her desk in the police station, reviewing the clues. The message in her pocket, the photograph, the shots fired into the night. The pieces were aligning until her phone buzzed. It was a text. "The truth is in the silence." Asterisk. She stared at it, a slow grin creeping over her face. The message wasn't random. It was a key. And the one behind all this, watching, shooting, hiding, was someone she'd never suspected. Eli, injured but alive, handed her the locket to hide her suspicion, but the real puppet master had been closer than anyone dared to imagine. Somewhere in the shadows, someone was manipulating the past to conceal its dark secrets. As she looked out her window, she saw faint lights flickering in the distance. The ghostly glow of the town's old hall, now vacant, yet somehow still alive with quiet schemes. She leaned back, knowing the game was far from over. The truth, buried in silence, was about to scream. And at the very bottom of her heart, she knew sometimes silence is the loudest scream of all.